properties were recovered by the Enforcement Directorate last Friday. Now, this property was bought for 75 lakh rupees. It's on the top floor of a housing complex along with the private terrace. Now, this property was registered in the name of aide Entertainment, where Arpita happens to be the director. Arpita Mukherjee herself has signed in on the registry documents and we've managed to access that. She had also attached her PAN card and Aadhaar card with the registry deed procedure, so you know it's legit. Now, the property was bought on 24th of January 2022. The original property deed was found from the house of Partha Chatterjee. Now, that's very interesting. So, the first hint that ED got about the connection between Partha and Arpita, while Arpita and her company had been fronts for Partha Chatterjee, as the ED has suspected. So let me go across to Tamal Saha, who's joining us. Tamal, that is what really led the ED from after the raids on Partha Chatterjee to track down Arpita, isn't it? Property deeds, mysteriously, which belonged to her allegedly, were found in the house of Partha Chatterjee. What could be the reason behind that?
Well, Meghna, Times Now first broke the story as how many property deeds were recovered from the house of Partha Chatterjee and how conspicuously they all had the name of Arpita Mukherjee. They did not belong to Partha Chatterjee, they belonged to Arpita Mukherjee, but the original paper documents were there with Partha Chatterjee at his residence. This is the first document that you are showing here on Times Now. This is the property deed that ED officials at first laid their hands on inside the house of Partha Chatterjee last Friday when the ED raids were on. Now, the date here, focus, the date here is 24th day of January 2022, which means this year. This year on 24th of Jan, this property was bought. The registry happened on 27th of January 2022. Now, what does it say? It says that Alcove Construction Private Limited, the developer, had given this property, had sold this property to Aide Entertainment Private Limited. Aide Entertainment Private Limited has a PAN number, an existing company within the meaning of the Companies Act 2013 and having its registered office at plot number 95, Rajdhanga Main Road, PS Koshba, Post Office East Kolkata Township. And the director is Miss Arpita Mukherjee. Her PAN number is also there. Now, Arpita Mukherjee is the director of Aide Entertainment and the property belongs to Aide Entertainment. Interestingly, she did not buy the property on her individual name, made the property on the name of the company. Now, this property, even if it belongs to Aide Entertainment, where Arpita Mukherjee is the director, the property document should have either been with the Aide Academy office or with Arpita Mukherjee in person. This property, this original document is the clear proof who does this property belong to. And if that person or the said company lose this property original document, it's too much of a hassle, too much of a paperwork, too much of a struggle to prove ownership of the property. And now understand, this property original document was with Partha Chatterjee at his residence. Big question, why? Big question. Did he want to keep a track of all the properties where his investments have happened, even if they are on the name of Arpita Mukherjee or Aide Entertainment? And look at the deed. Towards the end, it also says that the signatory here is Arpita Mukherjee. Here is Arpita Mukherjee's signature, Aide Entertainment Private Limited. Arpita Mukherjee had signed on the document, and this property was bought for 74,75,000 rupees. How did she buy it? Now, according to the registry document, the first down payment of 10 lakh rupees was done with a check dated 1st of September 2021. That was the day when the first down payment happened. And thereafter, the full money was paid on 18th of January 2022. Here lies the second question. Here lies the second question. If I am giving the down payment on 1st of September 2021 and if the property is already a ready to move in property, there was a delay in making the rest of the payment. The rest of the payment happened in the following year, which is 2022, in the month of January. What was the amount? The amount was the remaining balance of 64 lakhs 250 rupees. The registry and the tax deducted at the source 74,750 rupees. Overall amount, the valuation of the property is 74 lakhs 75,000. Now, where did this money come from? That's the question ED is asking. Who is Arpita Mukherjee? You might have Ichha Entertainment, but what does Ichha Entertainment do? What is the credibility? What's the credential? How much money has it made? And you went on a spree to buy one property after the other. And 75 lakh, minded Meghna, is not a small amount. It also smacks of affluence. You bought a house at a very high-rise upscale area, and for 75 lakh rupees, what is the source of the money? This question, when was asked by Enforcement Directorate, Arpita Mukherjee could not give a convincing answer if you go by what the sources are saying. And this property deed was there with Partha Chatterjee. This is the first property deed that ED had laid their hands on, and this was the immediate aftermath of ED raids at Partha Chatterjee's house. Mind it, ED had gone to Partha Chatterjee's residence last Friday at around 7:10 in the morning, and the raids continued for over 27 hours. But on Friday itself, last Friday itself, around 6 in the evening, ED went to Arpita Mukherjee's residence. I repeat, at Partha Chatterjee's residence, ED officials went at 7:10 in the morning after they had started the raids, and they managed to find these documents after documents, clearly indicating a strong connection between Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee. It was the same day, same evening, after a gap of several hours, ED went to Arpita Mukherjee's residence at around 6 in the evening. And this is the address. This is the property they had raided. And what did they discover? They discovered 21 crore 90 lakh rupees. They also discovered other documents. They discovered gold jewelry. They discovered forex. They discovered 22 cell phones and 22 SIM cards. Now, all this money had been parked there in one particular room. And there are several other properties which are there on the name of Arpita Mukherjee. So did Arpita Mukherjee, point number one, strategically use the name of Ichha Entertainment to keep this property on the name of the company, wherein she herself is the director, went ahead and signed, but kept the property on the name of Ichha Entertainment to avoid certain taxes, or to get tax benefits? That's point number one. Point number two, if this property belonged to Arpita Mukherjee, what was this original deed document doing at the residence of Partha Chatterjee? Mind you, this is not the only property deed that was found at the residence of Partha Chatterjee. There were many, which means many more skeletons are yet to come out.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. That's what all sources in the ED are saying. So far, it's 50 crores and counting. But let me go across to Pranesh. Pranesh, you must explain to us what this land deed says. Tamal, of course, has managed to access that for us. But explain how, interestingly, it directly points towards Arpita Mukherjee, and that's what told the ED that there was a direct link when they raided Partha Chatterjee. Pranesh, can you hear me? Well, we'll just come to Pranesh. Meanwhile, there is a report which we've managed to access. Now, this is Tamal's report, which is coming in from outside Arpita's property. This is one of the properties from where these recoveries have been made. Listen in.
20 crores and the counting is still on. We are right outside Tower 5, and on the same tower, on the 8th floor, flat 8A of Arpita Mukherjee, which is under the seizure of ED officials, where the cash counting is still on. Mind it, it's still on. The last figure that we have learned from ED sources, that the figure stands more than 20 crores. Loads and loads of money. Bundles of 2,000 rupee note, 500 rupee note, scattered here and there. Have they all been recovered from inside this very apartment? And this recovery comes in less than a week after the first recovery from the Tollyganj flat, from where more than 21 crores had been recovered. From inside this apartment, apart from cash which is still being counted, 3 kgs of gold, diamond jewelry, property deeds have also been recovered. All this while Arpita Mukherjee is still in the custody of Enforcement Directorate along with Partha Chatterjee. All along this has been suspected. This liquid cash is nothing but proceeds of crimes pertaining to SSC alleged scam and other scams. Partha Chatterjee, who has so far cried absolute innocence, will find it very difficult to answer the tough questions as whether he had knowledge about this money and whether the money had been collected in his behest. Arpita Mukherjee all along has been introduced by Enforcement Directorate as a close associate of Partha Chatterjee. Whether she was working at the behest of Partha Chatterjee, that's a big question. investigation. Most importantly, such recovery of cash, and that too in quick succession, has only shattered the perception of people in this. High drama unfolding at this very upscale high-rise apartment in the northern part of Kolkata, where two properties have been completely sealed by Enforcement Directorate. Two properties that Arpita Mukherjee had not disclosed to the investigating agency. The cash counting process is still on. Amongst two of these, at least in one of them, gold bars were recovered. But while the entire process had been on at that very apartment, which was in Tower 5 on the 8th floor, flat 8A, suddenly there was movement. Enforcement Directorate officers rushed out of the apartment, came to Tower 2, and on the second floor came to 2A, this very flat, and within minutes of their assessment, they have now sealed this apartment. Focus on this notice, which has been handwritten and pasted on the very door. It reads, "Notice is hereby given to the general public and the occupier of this premises having address Clubtown Heights, Block 2, second floor, flat 2A, 14 BT Road, Belghoria, Kolkata, that this premises has been sealed by Shri Vipul Harsh, Assistant Director, Enforcement Directorate, Kolkata. All persons, including the owner of this premises, are prohibited from break open the seal or from any other act which shall hamper the investigation under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act linked to this premises without getting approval of the Enforcement Directorate, Kolkata. The person concerned to this premise is directed to contact the undersigned at the Enforcement Directorate, the so and so address of the enforcement." This is the hallmark of enforcement.